That's Alien for Welcome to the Beyond the Film podcast. I'm your host, Tyler.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm leaving it at that.
I forgot to add the...
I didn't know your name was Jim Bob.
It's actually Bob.
Must be lost in translation or something. But, gentlemen, we are here to talk about Disclosure Day, the new film from Stevem Spielberg and frequent collaborator David Koepp, about a meteorologist and some sort of ex-government worker who are trapped in a conspiracy centered around trying to keep the mystery of alien interaction with humanity a secret. Will it actually remain a secret, or will it finally be disclosed
Wink, nudge, nudge.
to the real world? So I guess we should start here. What do you guys think of Spielberg as a director before we get into this movie itself? Or what are your experiences with it?
I can go first if you need some time to think, Justin.
Yeah, go ahead.
For me, Spielberg has always put on kind of these grandiose universes of like Jurassic Park and E.T. and even Jaws and stuff like that. Every movie, Ready Player One is another huge one. Every film he picks, he like builds a universe with Indiana Jones. You live in that universe. So when I heard he was going to be doing Disclosure Day, I was kind of hesitant because the trailers didn't really show it that well. It seemed kind of weird. And then he started talking about how it's part of a trilogy for Close Encounters and E.T., and this is the final for that trilogy. I don't know. I'll be honest. I haven't had trouble staying awake in a movie this bad since like Gravity. Usually it's Tyler falling asleep. I was the one kind of nodding off throughout this one. It is still a grandiose movie. There's some great camera shots. There's some great Spielberg style everything in this film. I want to hear your guys' opinion on it before I start ragging on it, because I felt like I missed out on a couple things.
Yeah, go ahead, Justin.
Oh, no, you can go ahead, Tyler.
Yeah, so, I mean, Spielberg is cinema to me. I mean, like, the guy has been around, I think his first movie came out in the mid-'60s, but realistically, most people associate him with Jaws, like the world's first summer blockbuster in 1975. And then from the 70s throughout, realistically to the late 90s, he delivers hit after hit after hit. He brings us the, as Ryan said, Close Encounters, the Indiana Jones franchise, Hook, Jurassic Park, Schindler's List, Saving Private Ryan. Like, these would be the best film in a ton of other directors' banks, but he just consistently delivered excellent work throughout most of the 70s through the 90s. His 2000 stuff is a bit hit and miss, right? For every Catch Me If You Can, there's a War of the Worlds, right? For every
I like that War of the Worlds movie. I will not stand for this.
For every Ready Player One, there's a West Side Story, right? Like there's movies that, like, he's clearly being picky about the choices he makes now, much less that he made in the 1970s. But yeah, I mean, Spielberg is you know, an all-time director. So when I go into one of his movies, good or bad, I expect it to at least be well made, and I expect it to really be something memorable. Is that necessarily the case here? Well, I'll elaborate on it a little bit more. But Justin, first off, what do you think about Spielberg?
I mean, most of the movies I've seen that he has made, I have enjoyed. It definitely feels like when he brings you a movie, he brings you a world. It's not just the movie itself. You get this whole world that you get to live in and be part of and experience almost what everyone else has experienced. I know some of the later ones that I've seen of his movies have not been super great. Like you said, War of the Worlds, I didn't enjoy that either. Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, I didn't like that one either. But I did like Ready Player One. I did enjoy that. So I mean, for the most part, I feel like everything you said is correct, and I agree with it. He definitely is a great director, and he has put out banger after banger after banger. But I haven't seen a lot of his more recent ones, and the more recent ones I have seen have kind of dipped in quality. And so when I saw this one, I even told Ryan I was not super excited for this. I saw the trailer and I was kind of like, I'm okay if I miss it. I feel like I'm not going to miss anything by not seeing this one.
Sure.
So, yeah, I kind of went into it maybe opposite of maybe you guys, but I wasn't super thrilled about this at all.
Yeah, I'll be curious because I'm actually going to ask you guys later if you think that this trailer did a good job selling the movie we got, because I think that's part of the conversation here. But yeah, I mean, I'll go first. I think I would say I'm mixed positive on this movie. It's clearly not like a Jaws or like a Raiders of the Lost Ark or an E.T. or a Close Encounters. It's not like peak Spielberg. It's very clearly that mixed bag that he tends to give us from 2000 on. But I think what I think I very clearly need to state is that I don't think Spielberg's ever made a truly awful movie. And Disclosure Day is by no means a truly awful movie. In fact, for like the last 30 to 45 minutes of this movie, I was like hooked to the screen, like leaning forward in my seat, eyes glued, just as many people were in that final like real big scene of the movie. Just seeing that last 30 minutes of it like made it worth the price for me. The problem with the movie is how we get there, right? The movie basically operates on this function that there is some secret that our characters are trying to protect and expose to the world. You will get very, very small elements of that story throughout, and then it's all going to make sense in the end. And I'm like, that's okay, but the problem is like what we're getting is just a very generic like conspiracy spy thriller for what is like an hour and 30 minutes of this movie. And yes, it does pay off, but that doesn't help for the fact that this 2 hour and 20-minute movie isn't super engrossing for the first 2/3 of it. So just some early thoughts. What do you guys think?
I'll go next. So going back a little bit to what you were saying, really, I thought Spielberg really is the Stephen King of directors, is how I can put it. Is that like he say what you will, but like Stephen King is one of the most memorable horror directors or horror writers like of ever.
But he's got some very, very clear bad books.
And Spielberg has some very, very clear bad movies.
Like what? What is I don't.
Movie is, as I said, I was kind of falling asleep throughout the movie, and the movie is grandiose. It does fun things. It's big. It's loud. It's crazy at times, but on the opposite side of that, it's really timid. We have really weak villains in the movie. I feel we have a really weak story in the film that I feel like we're following like this base idea of like something needs to happen, but we're not relying on any answers to any of that almost ever. I feel like all of the characters except for Emily Blunt's character is extremely bland. Um, I don't know much else to say. If you were to ask me to say what I would rate this movie without it being Steven Spielberg as a director, I would honestly rate this a 2-star movie. But it's not a 2-star movie. I'm probably going to end up giving it a 3.5 stars because it's a Spielberg movie and you feel Spielberg in it, and his shots are amazing, and everything looks beautiful in the movie, and like even the CGI that they use is amazingly beautiful. Like I hate CGI, and some of these shots are like, oh, okay, that's really cool. But at the same time, this movie, all it has going for is it's a Spielberg alien movie.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, right? Like every time I see a really great shot happened in this movie, I'm like, God, if literally anyone not named Steven Spielberg was directing this movie, no one would even be talking about it.
Exactly.
Right? And I think that does have to come into play with David Koepp's script. Now, David Koepp Wisconsin native, by the way. David Koepp is one of those writers who has written some truly, truly great stuff and has also written some really, really abysmal stuff. I know he's worked with Spielberg like 4 or 5 times. He wrote the scripts for Jurassic Park, War of the Worlds, a couple of the Indiana Jones movies. But he's also written, and I'm pulling up his list right now. Here, bad movies that he has written. Let's see. The Shadow with Alec Baldwin. He also wrote the first Mission Impossible, by the way. Secret Window with Johnny Depp. Mordecai with Johnny Depp. Inferno. The Tom Cruise Mummy. And also one of Ryan's favorites, Cold Storage, which, Ryan, I don't know if you know, David Koepp actually wrote the book Cold Storage and then adapted his movie into a script. So, like, if you're going to blame this movie for anything, the point I was coming across is blame David Koepp's script. Because...
But, no, I want to argue against that because Steven Spielberg actually co-wrote it with him.
Yeah, it's based off one of his, like, ideas. Like, Spielberg probably, like, let him know what the idea was and Koepp wrote the script. So, I mean, you know, would this movie have been better if Spielberg wrote the script himself? I don't know. I don't even know if Spielberg is a big script writer. But either way, like, the movie works because Spielberg is able to add his direction to it. And where it doesn't work, the thin characters, right? The overstuffed plot, the themes that don't quite mesh well together, although I think some of the themes are rather effective towards the end of the movie. That could all be blamed on just a bad script. And while I don't think it's the worst script that David Koepp's ever written, looking at you, Mordecai, you know, it's clearly holding down what could be a good Spielberg movie.
I agree with everything you said. It's just that I'm just curious as to where this went wrong and how Spielberg looked at this movie and was like, yeah, that's fine, release it. Like, it's just so bland. I mean, it's like we want to build this giant world to live in, but at the same time not put anything in it. I mean, it's such a bland movie. I mean,
I think part of it is that Spielberg is, you know, he's in his 70s or 80s now. He can pretty much do whatever he wants. He wanted to go back to the sort of like alien wonderness that kind of defined his early career, and who's going to tell him no? Right?
Well, that's the thing, is that would have been great, but there isn't really any alien wonderness in here.
Well, no, and I think that's where the movie does a bad job of, or the movie's trailer does a bad job of selling the movie, where a lot of what the movie's trailer was trying to tell us was that we're just kind of giving you the setup for what's going to be like this ultimate alien invasion movie. And it's really not that. If anything, the movie is much more concerned about saying what humanity would do if aliens actually did exist, and how governments constantly screw with us and try to hide things from us. And this movie very clearly says that when things are being hidden by the government, bad things happen. So it's better just to get the whole thing out there, whether it be aliens, whether it be, you know, war in the Middle East, whether it be the Epstein files, right? If you get it out there, that's better. And letting people see everything rather than having it being hidden by some government forces or some gigantic business entity, right? Like, that's where I think the movie gets interesting. But, like, does that make for a compelling independent style alien invasion movie? No. But, like, you know, it's hard because Spielberg does such a good job of making it as much of a blockbuster as he can. It's just not a blockbuster. And I think that's where a lot of people are going to come disappointed.
And real quick, because we haven't even heard Justin's opinions on the movie yet. But, like, on the contrary about the trailer, not only is it not just the setup, or it's not just the setup of the movie,
mm-hmm.
I'd say that trailer covered 99% of the plot of the movie.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not a lot of plot in the film. It's they found us, we better run. Oh, they found us, we better run. And any cool part of the movie is pretty much shown or alluded to in the trailer.
Justin, where are you on this movie?
I mean, I'm in between both of you guys, but I'm
Yeah.
like more mixed negative than anything. Um, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't care who is directing it. I'm gonna go into the movie with the same mindset. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. I'll go and see a movie if it's directed or starring someone that I like. That will bring me in even more. But when I start watching it, all of that goes out the window. I don't care who it is directing wise. Um, but like you guys said, like sometimes this movie did drag at points where it feels like we go long stretches of nothing going on. It's almost like the joke in Clerks 2, where it's like the Lord of the Rings, where people are walking to a fucking volcano. It is we are talking about the situation and then we move on to the next section of we got to get to talk about this issue, then we figure out the action, and then we talk, and then action. I mean, honestly, I even forgot at one point that this was a alien movie. Like I completely even forgot because we're not even talking about aliens. Like we all suspect it because we heard that this is a trilogy to the other alien movies, which I've never seen Close Encounters, so I don't know how much of the aliens are in that movie. But in E.T., the alien is in the entire movie. He is the star of the movie. And then when we do see the aliens, they're the most generic Paul looking characters ever. Like we couldn't think of anybody more interesting to look like. Like Paul made fun of this in his movie, where
Well,
when you see an alien, they just look like me because they based it off of my character, and that's what these are. And then like Ryan said, the bad guys like they do all of this, trying to catch both of them, trying to stop them, and then at the end we're just like, all right, well, I give up. I don't want to try anymore. Like, what was the whole point? That it almost felt like everywhere I've seen the ending is what everyone talks about. Maybe that's where the movie should have started, and we should have seen from there what all happens. Maybe this whole buildup of getting to the ending could have been maybe like a 20 minutes of it, maybe going through all of this action stuff, and then from the ending going, and that's where the movie starts almost. Because other than a few other things, like I did enjoy Emily Blunt in this movie. I definitely thought she was the standout of this movie, and obviously the truth being revealed was a great scene. I even did enjoy some of the acting during some of the scenes where he's talking to the people that he's communicating with, and like I liked how some of those were done. I was interested in the conversations that they were having, but I mean, it just there was more questions I had. Like he's looking for this device. Why didn't he try finding the girl again? Like, okay, we knew that the dude didn't have it anymore. We knew Linguini didn't have the damn device anymore. So why don't we try looking for the girl? Because he can control the girl, but we didn't want to try that route. I mean, it's just the amount of chances I felt like they could have tried to stop this could have happened sooner. And then Wyatt Russell, we don't even get for the rest of the movie. He kind of just disappeared. Like he was no factor to this movie too. Why, like their bond and everything? Like I would have liked to have known more about that. Why were they chosen specifically? Why did the aliens only come to those two? Why didn't they go to more people? Or are there more people? Why was it only just the two people? I mean, there was just a lot of questions. And like even Ryan said to me, like, I wonder what they said at the end, like what the alien said to them. And I said, like, it's like lost in translation. We got to sit there and wait for 30 years before someone tells us what actually was said between the two. So, I mean, at times I did like it, but then there was other times where it's like, the more I think about it, I don't know if I liked it as much anymore. It's like the more I
it,
think about it and let it marinate, it's just getting worse.
I mean, are we into spoiler territory right now?
I think obviously, yeah, just
Yeah.
just went pretty far into spoiler.
Yeah,
One thing, real quick, because everything froze for a second. I just want to defend one thing Justin said. With the generic alien, I will say that a lot of actually the shots that they use and the stuff at towards the end of all the like UAP settings, those are either based on heavily or actual UAP videos that the government has released. A lot of those were just straight up the actual video that the government has released in real life. I
yeah,
mean,
and
so yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, the reality of this is that human beings tend to personify things we don't know or can't grasp just to help us understand those things more. Realistically, alien life probably looks like bacteria or viruses more so than little green men. But because that little green men idea has been done to death so much realistically since the 1940s, like that's just what people associate with aliens. So that's probably just how Spielberg is trying to make his movie more appealable to the masses, right? When people think of Alien, that's what they think of. They don't think of, you know, maybe some people think of like xenomorph type aliens, but like,
I don't know,
the little
man.
green men.
My TikTok has been blowing up with aliens lately, and I'm flooded with aliens for some reason. But there are intelligent plasma beings now that the government's hiding, and reptiles. I don't know, man. My TikTok is going into dangerous territory for me.
Yeah, and Justin, you said that the villain kind of gives up at the end. I don't know if he just like gives up because like it's just bad writing. I think he gives up because he literally sees that the Emily Blunt's character has the device that basically can just do whatever she wants, and he just, you know, is defeated in the fact that like he can't do anything to stop it. Like it's happening, you may as well sit down and watch it happen.
And that wouldn't be a problem, but the guy next to him was gun-ho on killing her. Like, it's almost like he was waiting for approval for the guy to be like, can I just shoot her? Can I shoot her and kill her right now? Like,
I mean, to be honest, even if they shot at him, I bet that she would find some way to stop the bullets with like that device.
Maybe.
Or
I mean,
like,
and who knows what those devices really do?
Right.
I mean, they all could have different
we don't get
properties about them.
That's a legitimate criticism of the movie. Is like those devices that they use are not really explained very well.
Yeah. Because the one that she used to, you know, turn the house invisible and stuff like that, it like deteriorated and disappeared. So are they all the same? Because like the other one she used and it glowed in a different color and it lit up everything. So it was like they all different properties, or is it like circuits in a board where each one does somewhat similar things, but they control different aspects of it? Like, I mean, I would have liked to have known more about.
I mean, my guess is it's like overheating a CPU, right? Like the more intensive stuff you do with the device, the more you risk breaking it.
Yeah,
is my guess. But yeah, once again, the movie doesn't explain that, so you are absolutely within your rights to be critical of that as a narrative device.
And also,
right?
Did they say how they knew what her house looked like? Like, did anyone ever explain how all these people like knew what her house? Like, did they know she was already kidnapped? So why not keep a close eye on her before she revealed herself? Like, how did they even have all that information?
Yeah, so my guess is because the movie makes it aware that these two people, Josh O'Connor and Emily Blunt's characters, were kidnapped by aliens when they were young and were given powers by them by some kind. Like that stuff was probably recorded, and all of that was probably public record. So the all-knowing powers above like probably knew what it actually was and were able to like come up with that information. I mean, I'm making a lot of assumptions for stuff that is not being said in the movie itself.
Because if that was the case, like, you would have thought they would have been ready for her right away. Like, as soon as that would have happened, they would have already been there, and like they wouldn't have even let her gone to the hospital. They would have faked be in the ambulance and take her to a facility themselves.
Yeah, they also didn't even like act like they knew who she was until the thing happened on TV, and they're like, "Oh, it's her." Like,
even Hugo was shocked. He was like, "There's two of them."
That's what I meant. Hugo was shocked, right?
Yeah, like everybody was just surprised that there was two. Like, I thought you guys had all these records.
Yeah. Back to the villain too. Like why is he doing this? Like why is he just so like? Is it greed? Is that why he's just so desperate to keep the truth from getting out?
Yeah, the greed, the power, like Hugo said to him. But like there was nothing. It was his wife died, so now he changed how his like personality is all of a sudden.
Yeah. So you're telling me this dude is Darth Vader, right?
Basically, he lost Padme and now he's pissed at everybody.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I've been pushed into the more positive on this movie. But still fully acknowledging that there are problems with it. Like, it's not even like a Ready Player One style, just fun popcorn cinema movie. It's much more cerebral than that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because some of those cerebral elements about like how everybody is fearful of this getting out because they feel that Imogen Poots' character, Josh O'Connor's girlfriend, mentions like if you let this get out, then everybody's just going to assume that the religion they believed in their whole life is a lie and the world's going to descend into chaos. Like that's interesting, right? But the movie wants to do so many different things with that it doesn't end up kind of blending into one cohesive thematic project.
And it almost seems like it kind of contradicts that at one point when she asks her sister, like, do you like what do you think of this? Like, would you be challenging your faith? And she's like, no. Like, she even says like God didn't just make us, he just made us like superior beings on earth.
Yeah,
she's like, there's more out there. So it's almost like they had an idea there and then they kind of went back on it, like, no, let's not do that. You know, it like they're just like you said, there was good ideas, but I feel like sometimes they just shot themselves in the foot. We're like, no, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, like many of David Koepp's other movies, it probably could have done with like another author, maybe a rewrite of some kind, just to kind of make it a tighter film. Because frankly, there is no way, if you look at what this movie is about and how it plays out, that this movie should be 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, God,
like,
no.
So, yeah. Sorry, Ryan. Any thoughts?
I think that it could have been an hour and 20-minute movie.
I mean,
and it was for me pretty much.
Ryan pulled a me in Backrooms.
It was almost immediate too, where I was just like, "Oh God," you feel yourself slipping out of consciousness. I feel like we've rambled about it enough, though. I do agree. Better writer, better circumstances. I think we could have had a really solid movie here. But I think that it was bad writing. I think it was bad circumstances. I think that the only redeeming fact of the entire movie is the beautiful shots from Spielberg. And Emily Blunt. Emily Blunt really saves the movie. But I'm disappointed.
All right. Yeah.
How do you guys feel? See it in theaters or?
I think it's still worth a theatrical viewing experience. I don't think it's worth like opening weekend on the ultra screen, best seat in the house kind of experience though.
I'd be fine if you saw it on streaming.
I will say that the only people that will be really, really into this movie are like really, really hardcore alien conspiracy theorists. I think you guys will really, really dig this movie. I think that a normal person looking for a movie, if you really want to see this one, see it on streaming services. There's a good chance you're going to be disappointed. See you guys next week for a much better, more exciting film, The Furious, and I can't wait.
Yeah, that movie's going to be weird.
That looks brutal.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
All right. Anybody
what did you think of Disclosure Day? Did you know that's actually alien language for I just had a brain fart?
Do you know what else is alien language? You know where they got that thing from?
Where?
Aliens originally came up with the song ba 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 doodly doo doo doo.
Our satellites picked up what we thought was Pootie Tang.
It was not Pootie Tang.
Alright. See you guys later.
Bye.
If you think that's strange, you should see how we pee.